So, we got Wolves tomorrow, and honestly, I am absolutely bricking it for this game. I never thought at the start of the season that this would be a season-defining game, but here we are now. Wolves are 7th in the league, and they are 2 points behind us with a game in hand. So that doesn't make much promise. We could end up sliding further down the table tomorrow if we lose this game. And that's why I'm nervous. I've been spending the last few hours thinking about what might and might not happen. And I'm very worried to play Wolves right now because they are a very well-organised, structured and disciplined team. They know what they're doing. In other words, every player knows what to do. And that's why they've been on good runs of form throughout the season. That's why they're now fighting to get into the European places and even maybe the top 4, if you want to think about it in the long run. This is the type of team they are. Wolves are a very well-run club. That's the thing. They have a good system, they've got good plans for the future, and they know what to do in the long run, whereas West Ham doesn't have that. And that's a major difference between us and teams like Wolves. In a nutshell, I'll talk about Wolves' season so far. Despite losing the first 3 games of the season, Wolves managed to pick up some form and went on a run of 1 loss in 7. After a blip in late November to early December, Wolves picked it up again. And they have only lost twice in the league since December the 15th. In that time, they've managed to climb up the table, get away from mid-table form and actually contend to get into the European places again. With the players they've got and the signings they've made, a lot of Portuguese players still, and that was the case under Nuno, and even their current manager's Portuguese. But still, a lot of talent in that team. Wolves have some really, really, really good players. And I mean that when I say it. They've got a really good side. And they've got a really good midfield unit. Raul Jimenez is back from his horrific injury, and he is starting to find his form again. They've got Hwang Hee-Chang, who West Ham was linked with last January, and didn't sign him. He's the one that's got away because he's been brilliant for them. And they've got players such as Ruben Neves, Pedro Neto, who add to that midfield unit. So they have a really good team overall. And, they've come from League One, got into the Championship, built themselves up in the Championship, got back into the Premier League, and immediately made an impact when they came into the Prem. They're going forward. And it's a good time for people to support Wolves right now. As for my 3 players to watch, I've just mentioned one, Raul Jimenez. Since Jimenez returned from a very serious and potentially life-threatening injury, he broke his skull in a game against Arsenal, I believe it was. Jimenez is now back in form and is starting to find the net more. He scored against West Ham in the fixture at Molineux earlier this season. And he does like scoring goals against us. He's got that real instinct about him as a striker. And he's a really good pickup for Wolves. Second player I'm going to talk about is João Moutinho, because despite his age and the fact that he's soon to turn 36 later this year, Moutinho still is a major, major player in the Wolves side. I knew about him when he was playing for Sporting Lisbon and Porto. Massive name in Portugal, and I never thought in a million years he'd end up at Wolves, but here we are. He scored important goals for them. He's part of the 2016 Euro winning side for Portugal, and he's won a lot of trophies throughout his career. He's won 3 league titles in Portugal. He's won a league title in France with Monaco. He's won Euro 2016, like I said. He's won a UEFA Nations League. And in his first season at Wolves, he won the Player of the Season. As for my third player that I'm going to talk about, I've decided to include in this, as per usual, Ruben Neves. This sounds awful thing to say, but I was kind of hoping that Neves would get suspended in the game against Arsenal because I really didn't want him to have to face up against us. But it is what it is. Neves is a crucial player to have in that team. Crucial player. He's got excellent passing and distribution abilities. He's got good intelligence in terms of the game. He's got good technical quality. And he's very similar to João Moutinho in a lot of ways, and they complement each other really well. So, if you look at the Wolves midfield, it's very tightly packed. It's very technical, but it's also got a mix of tenacity. It's got a mix of dribbling. It's got a mix of vision. You never know what to expect, really. And now that Daniel Podence's back, you're going to be able to get the ball out wide if you're playing for Wolves, and you can find him a lot more. Podence getting back for them is actually bigger than what we think, and I reckon he will play on Sunday. As for a player who played for both, I have decided to choose for this one Paul Ince. Now, he's not really considered a West Ham legend, is Paul Ince, because of what he did when he was at Manchester United and Liverpool. But he still started his career at West Ham United nonetheless. Ince signed for West Ham in 1986 and spent 3 years with the Hammers, making 72 appearances and scoring 7 goals. After his controversial transfer to Manchester United, he spent 6 years at Old Trafford and then went to Inter Milan for 2 seasons. In 1997, he rejoined the Premier League and signed for Liverpool, and later played for Middlesbrough. In 2002, when he was getting towards the winter of his career, he signed for Wolves and spent 4 years in the Black Country. He made 115 appearances, scored 10 goals, and was part of the side that won promotion to the Premier League in 2003. After he retired, he became a manager, and he's currently the interim manager at Reading. As to my score prediction for this one, I don't want to say a Wolves win, but I can see it going that way. I think a draw would be an excellent result for us, but we need to get back to winning ways because we've only won once in our last, 5 or 6 games, I believe it is. It's not acceptable. So we got to get back in form, and now is the time to do it. I want certain players to be dropped, certain players to be rested. I want Moyes to show some bravery and actually say, right, if we're going to get a result out, we need to surprise them a bit. Don't play the same 11 because it's not working for us. Mix and match a bit more. I'd like to see Vlasic and Lanzini play, especially Lanzini if he's fit, and Vlasic needs to get a game. I'd even rest Souček. And as for up front, I'd actually stick Bowen up top and maybe put somebody else on the wing. Maybe even a system where Vlasic could go on that side of the field because he's left-footed and he's got good passing. So there's some things to consider, but we need to make changes for tomorrow. That is for sure. Very nervous thinking about it, but I look forward to the game. Thank you very much for watching this episode of Opposition Uncovered. If you like that video, you know what to do by now, folks. Hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe for more content. Take care, everyone, and I will see you all soon.